Coming up on Sports Paws, new developments in the Rick Seeley case surrounding the women's ice hockey team.
And the softball team had a busy weekend playing host to Sacred Heart in Marist. We bring you those highlights and more from this past week of spring sports.
And as always, we give you this week's top 5 plays. Don't go anywhere. Sports Paws starts right now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports Paws. I'm Mike Dalton.
And I'm Drew Feinberg. And Mike, we have a very exciting show tonight, so let's jump right into things.
And we toss to the Rick Seeley update. Seeley is denying all allegations of abuse made against him by his former players in the recent memorandum filed in his lawsuit against David Bills.
The trial is set for July 18th.
Switching to spring sports now, Quinnipiac women's lacrosse hosted Fairfield, who came into this game undefeated in the MAC. Let's take a look and see how they fared. And we take it to the first half. Number 24, Alex Leshak feeds a pass to Ashley Babinski, who puts the ball in the net. QU jumps out to a 1-0 lead. Then moments later, Alex Famel drives to the net untouched and scores a very easy goal past Larkin to tie the game. Then Alex Famel receives the ball once again, takes control of the play, scoring. Fairfield leads 2-1. Ashley Babinski scores her second of the game to tie it up for the Bobcats. She has 14 goals this season as a freshman. Then Fairfield begins to run away with the game. Scarlett Sullivan takes advantage of QU's bad defense and scores a goal from point blank. Fairfield takes the lead and never looks back. Number 24, Alex Leshak provides a little hope for QU as she tucks the ball into the bottom right corner. QU still down by 8. Now, from first half, from a free position, Riley Helstein scores a goal to really put QU away early. Then Alex Famel wouldn't stop scoring. She recorded 6 goals in the game.
Play well against tough opponents, and I think sometimes that loses their focus. So I think kind of lost the little things, and we focus a lot on the little things, and I think that might have definitely been the turning point.
We now take a look as the Quinnipiac women's lacrosse team plays host to Canisius. We now take it to the first half, where Lauren Smolensky will find the wide open Allie Stewart, who will do a little nice fake move and tuck that one away. Canisius leads 3-1 in this one. Still in the first half, Erica Evans assists to Jordan Rumer, who somehow gets this shot off when she's draped by 3 defenders. Still in the first half, Lauren Smolensky is going to find Erica Evans again. Second half now, Lauren Smolensky is dropping dimes everywhere, finds Brenna Shanahan, who puts another goal in for Canisius. They lead 18-2. And Emma Ryglod is going to score here on the penalty, and Quinnipiac is going to lose 22-4. And now we're going to toss it to Q30's own Chris Dacey as he breaks down what has been causing the women's lacrosse team's woes on defense. Chris?
Thanks, guys. And the women's lacrosse team let in 39 goals in the past 2 games, and I'm here to break down why that went down. We'll start here in the Canisius game. We're going to see the Canisius bring the ball up the wing here, and what I see here is I see one defender getting beat, another one coming over helping with the slide, but I see 1, 2, 3 defenders right here not coming over for the second slide, leaving all this available space and leaving this Canisius player wide open for the pass. So let's see how this play is going to play out. We're going to play it through, and she's going to get the ball, and she's going to have all the time to score. Too easy there. We're going to move over to the Yale game here, and we're going to see the defender for Quinnipiac, she starts out in very good position, but as she comes up the wing, she's going to overcommit, and that's when the Yale defender makes her move to the goal, and there's not going to be a slide here. Easy goal for the Yale defender. She even gets hit in the head, even a little penalty thereafter. We're going to go to the Canisius game, and what I see here is I see 1, 2, 3 defenders, and Canisius is able to get a shot off here, and it's just not good if you have 3 defenders and you can still get a shot off right on the front of the crease, right in front of your goalie. It's very hard to save those shots, as goalies know, so that's just an easy goal that you cannot let up if you're Quinnipiac defense. Now we're going to move on to our next play here, and we're going to see, let's go back a little bit, in good position here, a little bit beat, but what I don't like here is just the lunging by these players with their sticks. What they need to be doing is getting in a good position and stopping the player, not just lunging, trying to block a shot. The chances are greater of stopping the goal if they go to the player instead of just lunging and trying to stop the shot. And as you see here, easy goal again for Canisius. We're going to move on, and we're going to see Canisius here again. Behind the net, first of all, not even a defender on her right now. They're being held up right here. Good position for Canisius. We're going to play a little bit forward here. And pretty much ball watching. You can see ball watching. That's not good. In lacrosse, you need to watch the ball and the man. You have to be constantly on rotation. These defenders right here, even they're ball watching. And that allows many of the Canisius players, they notice that, they look for the back of the head of their defender, and then they cut to the net like you're going to see here, right out of the picture, out of nowhere. And again, a hard goal, you can't stop here. The women's lacrosse teams have many problems on defense, including their goalie communications. So 39 goals in 2 games, obviously not very good for this team, especially with MAC playoffs right around the corner. That's all I got for you guys today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Chris. Great job as usual, and just impeccable hair by him. Not a hair out of place.
Indeed, Drew.
But we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we take it to the diamond as the baseball team played an inaugural game in Hartford, and one player broke a program record.
And coming off a sweep in New Jersey by Monmouth, how would the softball team fare as they hosted Sacred Heart? We'll be right back.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
And welcome into Studio 125.
So what? So what?
If you score 40 points in a basketball game, we all know you play Quinnipiac Intramurals. We all know you love to shoot the rock.
Well, if you think that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, what I'm about to say, I guess, is going to be pretty ridiculous in your book. But I'm going to say, yes, there is a controversy.
Line, getting ready to punch the ball as it lands right in front of another Monmouth player.
Coming up on hashtag that.
We are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Hello, Quinnipiac hockey fans, and welcome to the Neutral Zone.
Definitely St. Lawrence, and I think you're going to see the test coming up real soon.
They might be having a bit of an adjustment issue without that CBS line, but don't count them out.
At High Point Solutions Arena in Game 2 of Quinnipiac vs. Northeastern Series.
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. The softball team hosted the Pioneers of Sacred Heart, hoping to bounce back from their previous sweep by Monmouth. In Game 1, it was a scoreless game until the 10th inning when Sarah Heimbach provided the game-winning RBI with a single. Let's take the tape and see how the game fared in Game 2. And QU came into the game with a 15-17 record overall, 3-3 in the MAC. And first inning, Fallon Bovino grounds out short to end the inning. QU prevents Sacred Heart from scoring first. Then in the bottom of the first, Taylor Troyan singles to center. Rebecca Drake comes in to score. QU takes a 1-0 lead. And in the bottom of the first again, Rachel Marchuk beats out the throw from shortstop and comes in to score is Erin Larson. And then in the bottom of the second, it's Kayla Cordero who doubles to center. Both runners score on the play, and QU extends their lead to 4-0. And in the top of the third, runners on first and second for Sacred Heart. Andrea Sider grounds into a double play to end the inning. Quinnipiac gets out of the jam, preventing Sacred Heart to score. Fast forward to the 7th inning, Hannah Ford grounds out to third base to end the game. QU wins shutting out the Pioneers 4-0.
The softball team then took a short ride to New Haven as they took on in-state rival Yale. In a very different game compared to the series against Sacred Heart, Quinnipiac tallied 11 runs. However, they fell to Yale by a score of 12-11. QU's Aaron Larson went 2 for 3 on the day, chalking 4 RBIs. This game was the second annual Chris game, dedicated to the son of Quinnipiac assistant coach Lynn Labadia's son, who was killed in a car accident.
And the Quinnipiac Bobcats hosted Marist in a doubleheader on Saturday. The Bobcats headed into the 7th inning, down 4-2. Miranda Magana cut the lead down to 1 with an RBI single, scoring Sarah Heimbach and sending Emily Kaya to second. Rebecca Drake got the game-winning hit for the Bobcats. Drake went 4 for 4 in the first game. And in the second game, Taylor Troyan went 2 for 2 with a double and 2 RBIs. Lexi Courtney went 2 for 3. Troyan and Courtney accounted for 4 of Quinnipiac's 7 hits in the second game against Marist.
We're now going to take a look at the men's baseball team who traveled to Hartford to take on the Hartford Hawks in the inaugural game at Dunkin' Donuts Park in Hartford, Connecticut. Before this game, you can see right there the beautiful skyline. They retire Roberto Clemente's number, and now in the first inning, Matthew Batten is going to get the first hit in park history. Take a look at this one, right past the diving shortstop, and he will later score on a balk to make this 1-0 QU. Now in the second inning, Quinnipiac reliever Brandon Shalakis is going to make a great play covering first base, but it's going to be 3-1 Hartford in this one. In the third inning, Brandon Shalakis is going to keep doing what he is doing. He's going to strike out the batter here. 3-1 Hartford still. Fifth inning now, Chris Sullivan of Hartford is going to hit a RBI double. It was tied at the time here. It will not be anymore as Hartford will take the 4-3 lead as Matthew Batten's throw is just a little bit late and Hartford leads 4-3. Now in the sixth inning, Mike Palladino is going to hit into the fielder's choice and is going to save a run to tie it, and it's going to stay 4-3 Hartford. And now in the eighth inning, with Quinnipiac with runners on the corners down 6-4, there's a 20-minute delay because the lights went out, and now Mike Palladino is going to strike out, and that is going to do it as Hartford wins 6-4.
The baseball team took to the road facing Iona this past weekend in a 3-game series. The Bobcats lost the first game 12-4. Iona was able to break the first game open early after Iona had a 6-run second inning. Bobcat first baseman Ben Gibson went 2 for 4 with a solo shot in the second inning.
In the second game of a doubleheader between Quinnipiac and Iona, Quinnipiac came out victorious in a 1-0 pitcher's duel. Quinnipiac's Chris Enns picked up the win, pitching 6 innings and striking out 4 batters in the first inning. Senior shortstop Matthew Batten broke the program record with his 62nd career stolen base. Now we are going to welcome our baseball analyst, Matt McAuliffe. Matt, how are you doing tonight?
Well, spring's in full swing, so I'm doing great, Joe.
Great to hear. So with this team being second to last in the MAC, what do you see as the missing piece going forward for them?
Well, Drew, there's a lot of missing pieces, really. I mean, this baseball team isn't getting the small things right. In the middle of pickles, they're not communicating, and when it comes to the bullpen pitchers are simply just missing their spots on certain pitches. I mean, fastballs aren't finding the zone. Breaking balls are catching too much of the plate. They're getting hit into gaps. So it's just the little things that Quinnipiac needs to get right that can lead to momentum going on to their side. Because if you get the little things right, then it doesn't lead to a snowball of 3-4 run innings, which now you're in an uphill battle, and now you got to climb back into the game, get runners on base. They just need to keep doing those small things right in order to get the wins.
Now, Matt, despite Quinnipiac's struggles, what can this team take away from the start of their season?
Well, you can take away that these freshman spark plugs like Evan Volgamore, like Nick Posh out of the bullpen, they're there and they will stay here and continue to produce for this team. Evan Volgamore is definitely a spark plug. He's like a Brock Holt out of the Boston Red Sox. He can play second. He can play catcher. He will be there for this Quinnipiac program, and that is definitely a positive for this team. And there's not a lot of positives for this team because they are second to last in the conference. But the freshman spark plugs are definitely a positive for this team, Mike.
Now, with the senior leader of the baseball team, Matthew Batten, graduating at the end of this year, what do you see as the future for this team going forward?
Well, Drew, the future is going to be tough. Batten, a very skilled player. Like you said, 62 stolen bases. He got the program record. Losing him will hurt. Losing a leader like Matt Ostreicher will hurt as well. He's a vocal leader. He's more of a locker room guy. So the future for this team, Drew, is kind of up in the air. I mean, they need the veteran guys to step up. But like I said, Evan Balgamore, that kind of Brock Holt player, Nick Posh out of the bullpen, there is freshman power, and there is freshman reliability for this team. So the future, again, is up in the air. I don't think they're going to finish top in the MAC next year or in the next 2-3 years, but they can slowly climb and they can slowly work their way up in the conference and hopefully find their way as conference championships in the next future years.
So, Matt, what is your prediction for the rest of the season for the Bobcats?
Well, Mike, there's not a lot left for this Quinnipiac team. I mean, they are going up against St. Peter's in the upcoming weekend. They are last in the conference, so if they can get a couple wins there, maybe get a little positivity, a little momentum. But as for playoffs, I don't think they will do much at all, and the future is definitely not as bright as they were expecting coming into this year, Mike.
And one final question, Matt. Matthew Batten breaking the record with 62 stolen bases. What does that mean for not only him, but this program in general?
I mean, it's huge. I mean, it gets a little media exposure for this Quinnipiac baseball team. I mean, a program record is always talked about in the media. The kid is a fantastic talent. 62 stolen bases is not an easy feat. So hopefully, again, that can bring momentum into this weekend against St. Peter's and hopefully get a couple wins, get a sweep. That will be best case scenario for this Quinnipiac baseball team.
All right, thanks for joining us, Matt.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we bring you this week's top 5 plays.
And Nicole Scola from the women's golf team sits down with Q30's own Aaron Robinson. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
And welcome into Studio 125.
So what? So what? If you score 40 points in a basketball game, we all know you play Quinnipiac intramurals. We all know you love to shoot the rock.
Well, if you think that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, what I'm about to say, I guess, is going to be pretty ridiculous in your book. But I'm going to say yes, there is a controversy.
I'm getting ready to punch the ball as it lands right in front of another Monument player.
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Coming up,
Coming up.
coming up.
Coming up on hashtag that.
We are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Thank you for sticking with us. This past weekend, Quinnipiac women's golf competed in the Hartford Invitational. Sophomore Luciana Tobaya Palza finished second in the tournament, shooting a total of 153. She finished the tournament just 2 shots off the winner.
And speaking of golf, Drew, our own Aaron Robinson is sitting down with women's golf senior Nicole Scola. Take it away, Aaron.
All right, so I'm here with Nicole Scolas from the women's golf team. So Nicole, so after concluding just a great career, setting the record with just eagles, birdies, and posting the lowest single season average for. So basically, what's the one thing you take away from your career here at Quinnipiac?
Well, a lot of fun, that's for sure. So I really enjoyed playing on my team. But what I really take away from it is just the hard work that we all really put into it. We spend so much time in the off season and during the season practicing, and it's been incredible playing so many difficult and challenging courses. And not only as an individual, but together playing so well and kind of outperforming even, our highest hopes.
You talk about playing the difficult and challenging courses. You being from Rhode Island, how is being from the Northeast region, playing possibly on some of these courses before, how did you think it helped you out in your career here?
Oh, I've talked to my coach about this a lot of times, actually. We always joke that sometimes the girls that come up from warmer weather aren't ready for our winters. And I was lucky that I was raised in a very cold winter environment. My dad would have me go practice in rain, snow, sleet, really anything. So I've been able, I think, to better handle the cold conditions, or at least know in my head that, you'll get through the 18 holes and you will survive. So I think that's helped me personally, and then also motivating the team to just say, we've seen worse, or there could be worse out there, we can get through this.
Great. So looking forward to this season, you guys are coming off a MAC championship from last year, with the team heading to the MAC tournament this weekend. What do you think the team's outlook this weekend will be?
I don't think it should be anything short of positive. They've been practicing so hard. It's incredible to see the girls that have joined the team, as well as the ones who have kind of gone up in the ranks. They've just developed as players, developed as people. I've really, last year we felt very confident as a team, but this year I just feel so great for those girls. I know all of them are really optimistic. They're happy. And I think this year also there's a lot less nerves involved. Maybe it's because we won last year. It's kind of nice to go off of that high. But even just the freshmen and the sophomores are looking really positive, and really excited to head down to Florida and show what we've been working on.
Speaking of the freshmen and the sophomores, so you being one of two seniors on the team, how have you been able to kind of put your senior leadership, and just kind of guide the younger players on the team?
I try and go through optimism, or at least some reassurance, especially, in the fall we have such a loaded schedule that I think some of us can easily get overwhelmed. So I try and give them a little bit more elderly perspective of being the senior in that regard. But also just, being there as a shoulder if they need to talk, or if they want someone to watch their swing or practice with, or I think I'm always really down to have some competition during practice. So I think they find that fun if they're ever getting bored during practice time too.
Awesome. So after such an illustrious career here, with golf at Quinnipiac, what's next for you in your golf journey? Is there anything after graduation that you plan to do?
Probably play golf with my dad. I'm really excited about that. And my brother, I have an 18-year-old brother who is very confident in his own skills. So I think I have to show him what some collegiate golf has done for me the last few years. But after that, just going back to the local circuit, doing New England and local state tournaments. So and playing my home course. I love my home course, so I'm excited to head back for that.
Awesome. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Aaron. Nearing the midpoint of their season, the women's track team put together strong performances on Saturday at the UMass Minutemen Invitational. The Bobcats captured victories in the discus throw, hammer throw, and 4x100 meet. Freshman Mika Maples made headlines as she won the discus throw, setting a program record with a toss of 43.09 meters. We'll now toss it to MJ Baird, discussing some of the new news surrounding the non-spring sports teams. MJ?
Drew, Mike, thank you. Just because the weather is turning and the main focus is spring sports here on campus, that doesn't mean the winter sports teams aren't making headlines. In fact, a lot has happened in the past week, so let's have a look, starting with men's ice hockey. On Thursday, Rand Pecknold was named as an assistant coach to the United States men's national team that will compete in the IIHF Men's World Championship this May. Pecknold will be coaching players from both the NHL and college ranks and coaching under head coach Jeff Blashill, the current head coach of the Detroit Red Wings. This comes only a year removed from Quinnipiac's second Frozen Four appearance in 4 seasons. Pecknold ranks 11th in active coaches in the NCAA with 469 career wins. The women's ice hockey team is making headlines as well, with active and former players receiving invites to the U.S. national team camp. Melissa Samiskevich and Cheyenne Darkangelo were among 42 individuals invited to camp beginning at the end of April. Of the 42, the field will be cut down to determine a roster for the 2018 Olympic Games in South Korea. Samiskevich has recently been named a captain for next season, her junior year in a Bobcat uniform. Sunday is often a day of rest, but not for the newest Quinnipiac hire, Baker Dunleavy. Yesterday, it was reported that the Bobcats signed 2 new transfers, Travis Atson and Isaiah Washington. Atson, a freshman transfer from Tulsa, will sit 1 year to play 3. He graduated from Notre Dame Prep in Massachusetts, the same prep school as Quinnipiac's current player, Peter Kiss. Atson comes to Quinnipiac having played in 22 games for the Golden Hurricane and averaging only 1.6 points per game. Another transfer comes to Quinnipiac from Penn State. Isaiah Washington is a graduate student who will be immediately eligible for the Bobcats and have 2 years of eligibility after a redshirt freshman year. These 2 are the first transfers Dunleavy has picked up since being hired about a month ago. From winter sports to the fall teams, Quinnipiac rugby is again a hot topic. Junior standout Alona Marr has been named a finalist for the M.A. Sorensen Award. This award is given annually to the nation's top women's rugby players. The 2-time NIRA All-American was recently named Player of the Year for the fall by the RugbyBreakdown.com. Her 230 career points and 46 career tries rank 3rd all-time in Quinnipiac history. Marr is one of 4 finalists for the award to be given out this June. Guys, that's all for my off-season news update. Drew, Mike, back to you.
Thank you, MJ. And Mike, let's just talk about Rand Pecknold for one quick second. Such a huge accomplishment for him. Coming into this program as a Division II school and now being a major Division I program, what a huge accomplishment for him and for Quinnipiac as a whole.
I mean, when you look at the evolution of Rand Pecknold, came in, this was a Division II school. Now it's a nationally ranked Division I school, and he's going to be an assistant coach for a U.S. national team.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what national team it is. When you are an assistant coach or part of a coaching staff for any national team for the U.S. of A., that's an accomplishment.
Definitely a huge accomplishment for Rand Pecknold. But now it is time for the top 5 plays presented by B&D Deli, open for breakfast and lunch. Come on in and try the Quinnipiac Panini or the Q-Dog sub. I'm going to take number 5 in softball. Abby Long pitches her way out of a jam, gets into the nice double play for Quinnipiac, and they swept Sacred Heart in this one.
At number 4, Mike Davis pitches his way out of a jam by forcing this 6-4-3 double play. QU would end up losing this game 6-4.
Now over to women's lax for number 3. Canisius's Allie Stewart is going to get the pass and do a little nice fake and get it past the Quinnipiac goalie. And Quinnipiac is going to get blown out 22-4 in this one.
At number 2, Fairfield's Alex Femmel gets past her defender and finishes at the net. Femmel had 6 goals on the game.
At number 1 in baseball, Ben Bankston of Harvard is going to make the diving stop and get the force out at second to save a run. And Hartford is going to win 6-4.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Sports Paws. For more information and to see all of our content, visit our website at www.q30television.com.
And don't forget to follow us on social media at Q30 Television and at Q30 Sports. From all of us here at Sports Paws, he's Mike Dalton, I'm Drew Feinberg. Happy Marathon Monday. We'll see you next time.